I got my coffee. That lady is always standing right there. Ah, get out of there. Alright, so
The
what...
letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Okay. Letter is on the table. Usually all my letters are over here.
This is where I keep my...
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
What letter?
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
The letter is on the table.
There's the table.
A wax seal with the monogram E.B. The Brackenstall family coat of arms.
Okay.
I can tell from Lestrade's handwriting that he was in a hurry when he wrote this letter.
Let's read it. Alright, my dear Mr. Holmes, I should be very glad to your immediate assistance in what promises to be a most remarkable case. It is something quite in your line. Except for releasing the lady, I will see that everything is kept exactly as I have found it, but I beg you not to lose an instant, as it is difficult to leave Sir Eustace there. Inspector Lestrade. Alright.
So, what is it, Holmes?
Promising, as always. It appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the EB monogram, their coat of arms. The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30 in the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
Abbey Grange it is. See, now it doesn't look like it. Oh, there it is. Looks like it's just spinning. Ugh, I hate that.
Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses.
Hey,
She has
Insane.
given so clear
Thanks
an
for
account
subscribing,
of
man.
that there is not much left for us to do.
You are
You
awesome.
remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall
How did
is
your
dead.
stream go?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair. But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right, I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson.
Very good, Watson. Okay. Inspect the room.
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall.
Quite. See, is there anything else?
Lord Brigham Brackenstall.
Brigham Brackenstall.
Sir Warthen Brackenstall. Lord George Brackenstall.
Brigham Brackenstall.
Ladies, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man, I saw two others. One of them struck me a savage blow with his fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had hurt them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Did these three villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
Alright. Let's take a profile here. Oh, there it is.
You mentioned that your marriage was not a happy one. Was there anything specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
Oop.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes, he did. He was very angry at the time. Out of control. Again. Sir Eustace was a drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Your ladyship?
Alright. Let's take a look around this room. I'm not going to read all this. That is forever long.
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article.
Alright, so let's see. There we go. So we've got our first thought. Uh-oh. What is supposed to be glowing here? I don't see it. Don't see it. Oh, over here. Right there.
These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame.
Ooh.
This is Sir Eustace's safe. There may be something important inside. I must ask Lady Brackenstall to open it.
Okay, small table. Take a look at that.
This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one? This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one? So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take that picture. Let's see. Is there anything else? I'm not gonna talk to her yet.
Lady Brackenstall, could you open this wall safe?
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
We have to open it. Your ladyship?
Okay, I'll talk to Teresa now. Teresa!
Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir. As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw 3 men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. Oh, if I'd known.
And then?
I went to bed, and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran, to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with his head smashed. That's all I know.
Okay, so 4 things to profile her. What about that blood on her? Maybe it's coffee. Let's see. What else did we miss? Working. It looks like it's saying working hands. There it is. Yeah. Ah, you can blur it, but you can get away.
My mistress is very tired. Can't you allow her to her room?
Alright, so we've looked at everything in here. Looked at everything in here. Time to go in here.
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
So, Watson, what have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
Well, I can confirm that the death was instant. Sir Eustace was facing his attacker when he received the blow to his head. There are no other apparent injuries.
Alright, let's see.
Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon. Barefoot, he had therefore been in bed and did not have time to fully dress. The head was cracked with the force of the blow. That must be the murder weapon.
Alright, so... there's our next thought. None of the rest of these should... no. Yeah, none of these should link. didn't get everything. Head. Feet. What am I missing? Come on now. Got everything. Yeah. Whatever. Alright, so we are missing something. We need to look for something gold. Right over here. Maybe? Oh, right there. Oh, no. And these gold things are getting harder to find. What in the world? Why am I up here like this? Oh, it's right here.
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
That's where it was at.
You should examine the body of Sir Yu.
A fur trader's cabin. There is beeswing at the bottom, as if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. It is rather strange that only one of these glasses has dregs of beeswing inside it, while the other two are clear. A decanter standing next to the open bottle, an inseparable pair indeed. Chateau Calon-Ségur, French wine, Grand Cru. Sailor's knots. That's interesting. This rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow their trail. I will take it with me.
Let's see.
This is the chair that Lady Brackenstall was tied to. The hunting scene. An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the contents. These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France. A bottle of wine is missing here. This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen. The criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware. Antique hunting weapons. The hunting scene. A trapper's hut. A trapper's hut.
Alright, what did I miss on the body? Feet, stick, feet, hand. Nothing on the poker.
Barefoot. He had therefore been in bed and did not have time to fully dress.
I'm missing something. Already got the head wound.
That must be the murder weapon.
You don't say.
The head was cracked with the force of the blow.
There it is.
It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation.
Got it. Okay.
The death was instant.
I don't think there's going to be anything out here. How do I get in? Okay, go in there. Okay. Let's see what's over here. Nothing. Alright. Nothing out here.
Baron Lyndon Brackenstall. The Brackenstall family seems rather austere. Let us try to open this safe. This safe can be cracked. I only have to pay attention. The dial will vibrate when it is set to the correct number.
Whoa. Too bad it isn't this this easy to crack safes like that. There's no way. Your current physical and mental state is one of great concern. There are signs of hepatic decompensation. Last time we met, your eyes were bloodshot and your skin was tinged with yellow. There's a particular odor from your breath that is common with those suffering from liver damage. Then there are lung abscesses that we have discussed. The leg cramps you have described to me are caused by... I don't need to read all this.
Antique coins possibly of value, but they're scattered without care. It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal.
Okay.
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
Your ladyship? Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behavior.
Yes, Sir Eustace was an extremely violent man. A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead, but a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. One with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was especially hard for her.
Okay, I don't really have any other information to go off of right now. Okay, so I need to go collect Toby from Baker Street to follow the scent trail. I will say this, guys, kids, teenagers, it is never okay to hit a woman, ever. It doesn't matter what the reason is. It is never okay. So, I hope none of you ever get yourself into that position, but remember when you get there, it's not okay. Don't do it. Doesn't matter how angry you are.
What do you know about Sir Eustace, Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man when sober, but an absolute demon when he was drunk. In such moments he was apparently capable of anything. Why, once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog and set it alight. Another day he threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
The alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal.
Okay, so let's go to, oh, wrong button. From Baker Street to get Toby. Yay, we get to interact with the doggy. Woohoo! Where are you?
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case. I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
Alright. So we need to go back to Abbey Grange. I love dogs. If you couldn't tell.
Search, Toby.
Oh, you get to be the dog. That's cool. Yay.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware. The scent leads to the well. I should check it. The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route. Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
Alright, so what's... R. There we go. We'll look in the shed first.
Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved. Small gardening tools. Nothing of great interest. This hook might be useful. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty.
Okay. Now over to the well.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
I'm quite skilled.
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence. The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
Let's see. So we'll go back inside. See if there's anything else left to do.
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship?
Let's see.
We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed. Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Mystery. Okay. So I need to perform an analysis on the rope. It's the only thing I have left to do to proceed.
Let us see how the rope was cut. The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope. The fibers from this cut appear to be different. If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
Okay. What do we got now? There's got to be more. I can't go off of that. Really?
Have you found something interesting?
Alright, let's travel back. See if maybe there's some more dialogue options after analyzing the rope. See, that side, when it's going, it doesn't look like the cart is just spinning. Wonder why it's only on that other side.
Holmes, don't look at me like that.
Oh, what a horrible thing to have happened.
Please leave my Mary alone.
Okay, well, I guess that's all I have to go off of. Okay, so sailor background. Let me look at that newspaper article again. Whoops. pirate career. So it is them. Okay. So get out of here, hit B. This is tricky. Let's go look at the, man. See, there's no blood on... There's no blood on the poker. You would think if...
That must be the murder weapon.
See if we get up close. There is no blood on it. I wish I could zoom in
The
on the
head
head
was
wound.
cracked with the force of the blow.
But see, there is blood all over the fireplace grate. Alright. I'm gonna go... The Robbie review was faked. That's what I'm going with. Absolving.
Ladies, I know the full story. You are both guilty, are you not?
Mr. Holmes, I can explain everything.
No, madam, he's bluffing.
It is no use. Your husband was a violent man, a cruel man. Your argument last night ended tragically, with him stumbling and falling, fatally striking his head upon the fireplace grate. However, your mise-en-scène to divert suspicion was unnecessary. You should have admitted the truth.
The truth is often subjective, Mr. Holmes.
Not to me.
What will you tell Inspector Lestrade?
He will find nothing, as he handed the case over to me. Farewell, ladies. Inspector, I'm afraid that the murderers have escaped us.
What? Do you mean to tell me that you failed? Never thought I'd live to see the day.
I mentioned the murderers, not the case. It is obvious that the crime was committed by 3 criminals who cannot be the Randalls.
You really think so?
You only need to find a gang of 3 thugs wandering around. I can trust you to do that.
If they exist, I'll catch them.
You'll find someone, I have no doubt of it. Goodbye, Inspector.
%. I can't wait to check all of my my stuff at the end to see how right I am. So that's the end of chapter 4.